I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
James, for England.
No, for me. Oh, we got to the end. Shit.
No.
Oh, spoiled it.
You went the wrong way there. You were supposed to reply for England, Alec.
No, you see what I did that on
wrong
purpose.
End of the film, you see.
No, I did it on purpose for giggles.
I don't think you did.
It's fine. But
this evening we are talking about Goldeneye. Let's clarify.
Yeah, and even though we quoted towards the end there, it was out in 1995, so keep up, eh?
I don't think we need to worry too much about spoilers. If you haven't seen it, what have you been doing with yourself? You need to get that sorted.
Yes. So what we've done is we've followed up on one of our promises yet again, in a timely fashion, I might add.
Scary.
Of our Bond film reviews in no particular order. Well, actually, in a particular order that we quite fancy. That's the only.
That is the order. That is the order of our new series of episodes. Yes, indeed, that are going to pop up from time to time. Our Bond film reviews. Yes.
And we picked this one for no particular reason. Well, actually, that's not strictly true. We said that there's been a lot of love for the Brosnan stuff of late.
Yeah, there has.
He's been getting. I mean, while he was never undervalued, at the moment he's been getting the recognition he deserves, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's come back round, doesn't it? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Goldeneye was obviously his first, and some would say his best.
It's certainly a contender for his best, I will be honest. That's open for debate. It's probably not a debate we're going to end this evening, but it will be a debate we'll end once we've talked through the other films.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. No, that's not for tonight, but I watched it, and you've watched it, and I thoroughly enjoyed.
Still enjoy it every time. Never fails.
No, hasn't gone wrong.
No. Well, it's got all the ingredients, isn't it?
It has. It's a film that's nearly perfect, but not quite. We'll come on to that.
Okay, all right. We'll get to that particular elephant in the room, shall we?
Yes.
Well, let's tackle it in the sort of vague order that the film unfolds in.
Yeah, and let's also tackle it in the context in which this film appeared. It was the first Bond film for 6 years. It was a long gap. And for lots of boring legal reasons that we don't need to drag into. But first Bond film for 6 years. Timothy Dalton had done his 2, was set to do more, but that didn't happen. He was offered to come back. He decided not to. So they went on the hunt for a new Bond. And a name came back round who had nearly done it before.
Yep. As we discussed the other day, he as in Mr. Brosnan, screen tested in 86.
Yes, and I believe was actually signed to be the next Bond in 86. But there was a clause in his contract for doing Remington Steele that I think they had 60 days to resell the show. And on the 60th day, they did, and they said, no, we want him for another series, and he lost out. Cubby said Remington Steele will not be James Bond, and they moved on, and he lost it.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, like you said, we came back around, and all was well in the world.
Yes,
we had the 6-year gap, but in terms of Bond narratives, the world changed in those 6 years.
Very much so. We're talking 1989 to 1995. That was a time of great change.
Yeah, considering, and we will come on to this, but considering the consistency of Russian themes in Bond films, the dissolution of the Soviet Union on it was Boxing Day 91, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was almost 92, but yeah, late 91. Yes, that's right. The Soviet Union collapsed. Yeah,
that kind of, and with it went the Cold War and all of the obvious espionage that comes along with that, sort of hand in hand. I mean,
the whole world that Bond inhabited really had changed, and it was quite a bold choice for them to have a kind of Russian-based story for the next Bond film.
True. However, I suppose they did it in the way that it's quite Russian-themed in the sense of, yes, the Soviet Union is gone, but the backstory, as in the pre-credits sequence,
yes,
is prior to the collapse of the Soviet Union.
It is 9 years later. Yes, indeed. Yeah, the Bond's relationship with one of the villains goes back to pre-collapse of the Soviet Union. Yeah,
that's it. Because
it's quite a clever plot, actually, from that perspective.
Really good, really good. I like that. The fact that you've got your Russian villain, so to speak. You got your military general
Urumov, yes. They made him a general.
Very good.
Yes.
And we've got the issue of he supposedly kills Alec Trevelyan in cold blood.
006, yes.
Which sort of scuppers the mission, but they still give it a good old blowing up.
Oh yeah, Bond does his thing there. Yeah. That standoff scene I really like, where Trevelyan is shot and Bond has to find a way out. Very nicely constructed scene with Urumov's, looks of disbelief as Bond is trying to escape.
You can't win.
Yeah, that, yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And the squeaky wheel on the trolley that Bond hides behind.
Yeah, excellent.
Beautiful little touch. Yes.
The youthful soldier with the itchy trigger finger who gets a bullet right in the chops, doesn't he?
Yeah, indeed. Yes, hold your fire, and then he doesn't. Yeah. Interesting little detail here. Urumov is using a Walther PP.
That's correct. Very good.
Slightly longer barreled version of the PPK.
Good spot. Nicely done.
There you go.
So, and then we end up with the runway chase and one of the scenes that's become iconic.
Yeah.
Well, it's far-fetched, it's daft, but it's a bit of Bond right there.
It is a bit of Bond. It's a ridiculous stunt that couldn't possibly happen, but that's, it's a Bond film, so that's fine.
That is. However, we glossed over the first stunt with the damn bungee jump. That did occur.
That's true. They did actually do that for real. Yeah, they did. I forget the name of the guy who did the jump.
Captain Lunatic.
He worked on a number of Bond films. I forget the name of the guy, but it was actually for real. Yeah, he did do that jump. Yeah,
and I suppose we shouldn't skip to the theme song until we've dealt with the rather grotty introduction of Pierce as Bond, because the big, I mean, we all know it was going to be him. We've all seen all of the press leading up to this. However, on screen, it's close-ups of bits of his face.
Yeah, it's those little tricks, isn't it? Close-up of the eyes, and that's right.
But he's got the unfortunate job of breaking into the facility via the ventilation system and gaining entry to the main building via a cubicle with a Russian soldier, what can only be described as, well, laying a cable.
He's having a yeah.
What
Billy Connolly would have called a wee jobby.
Yes. But I think we've discussed this before. I get the feeling a Russian jobby would be quite a meaty thing.
If you want to consider that,
well, I mean, if you're setting the scene, that he's descending into the updraft of what horrors are occurring in that cubicle.
Yeah, but he's trained to expect the unexpected.
Oh, there's the unexpected, and then there's that.
That shouldn't be unexpected, given how he's. It's quite an entrance. Yes, he is the first Bond to be introduced by going headfirst into a toilet. Yes. It's an unusual choice.
One thing that I did notice in that scene of going right, Bond is upside down, gives him a good old club around the chops, knocks him out, and then you see his they cut so that you see the top of the cubicle and his legs join him in there as well.
Yes.
And you go, right. So in order to get this maneuver over and done with, you're going to have to brace yourself somehow.
Yeah. And there's only one thing in there.
Well, there's a person, but you don't really know where he's landed. There's a Kazi, or there's the floor.
Yeah. And it's not very big.
It's not very big, but something did catch my eye. And the bog floor is horrendous. It's really, they've thought about it on the set. It's covered in mankiness, some little pissy essence. I'm going, Bond's got to contend with that. He's got to have a little rummage around in some Soviet filth there.
Oh, that's going to be grim, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's going to stink for the rest of the mission.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good. Those pristine black jumpsuit he's wearing, that's going to be all...
Oh, that's for the bin when he gets back.
Yeah, that's had it, and he just burned that.
Yeah, again. Q's going to be annoyed. Well, what have you done with all the equipment? It's got some Russian piss on it, mate.
Yeah, that needs incinerating immediately. Yeah, and it's been in my bag on the flight home as well.
Oh.
That's not
good.
He didn't win out there, because if you think Connery was introduced at the Baccarat table, Lazenby was driving the glorious DBS.
Yep.
Roger Moore was.
He was in bed with the lady.
They're doing what Roger Moore does. Brosnan's head first into a Russian bog. He hasn't got the best deal there.
And Dalton was having a bit of a parachute and a climb, wasn't he?
Oh, and the Dalton was, of course, he was, in Gibraltar there, yeah. Hold on, you're dead.
Excellent work.
Thank you. It's a rough introduction, that. Yeah, but it comes through it.
So that's it. We've ultimately ended up with quite a serious and gritty pre-credits.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think it works. It works rather well.
Death of a colleague.
Yes.
Well, so we're led to believe, anyway.
So we believe at that point. Yes.
Yeah. It's not like, it's a powerful entrance, I'd say. I like that.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
And then we have the roll of the credits, and I have to say the animation for the credits I adore, because the use of all the Soviet symbolism and the weaponry, it's proper Bond.
The hammer and the sickle. and all of that. Yeah, it is
a bit of Wolfir in there. Yeah,
Two-Faced Roman god in there as well.
Very good, very good.
First title sequence designed for Bond by Daniel Kleinman. Obviously, Maurice Binder, who did all the original title sequences, had passed away by this point. So, Daniel Kleinman. So it was very modern, but really looking, to the style of the original ones, but very in tune with the story, as you say. Fantastic imagery.
Yeah, really good, really good.
Yeah, it works really well. Yeah, and I think the title song is brilliant. It was high time that Tina Turner did one.
I really, really enjoyed it. And I still to this day really like the song. I mean, that it really pains me to say it as well, because it was written by Bono and The Edge.
Yes, it was.
Which is a weird one, and I cannot stand you two.
No, I can't either. I'm with you on that.
It's just
I'm not a fan at all of that.
I'm not a big fan of the music. Being someone who likes the guitar, I find Edge's style of just constantly fiddling annoying.
Yeah.
Bono's a preachy bellend. However, they wrote a song and didn't actually feel the need to perform it, which was wonderful.
They had nothing to do with the production of it. They just wrote it. And I think Tina Turner is perfect. She's exactly the sort of artist they go for. She's got a career that spans decades. She's a guaranteed hit. She's got an incredible voice. She just fits so well. She's another Shirley Bassey.
Yeah. And little personal nod there. It's the only Bond theme I've seen performed live by the artist.
Oh, very good.
There you go.
Well done. Well done. Excellent.
It's a bit of a random one, but there you go.
It's very personal to you, but excellent nonetheless. I'm impressed.
So that was good. And then we cut to, well, we couldn't be further from gritty Russia if we tried. Yeah, we are back in Bond heaven at this point.
9 years later. I love that introduction with the close-up of the front of the DB5.
The roar of the engine. The straight six is glorious.
It is. It's beautiful, and you know exactly what you're dealing with there.
That's it. We got Bond having a cheeky little drive in the mountain roads above Monte Carlo.
BMT 214, eh?
Oh yes, not a gadget laden. Well, apart from champagne coolers and Alpine stereos that really are not befitting of a car of that vintage.
No, really not. No,
with printers built in. But but yes, he's got his lady who's been sent to evaluate him.
Yes, indeed. Yes. So, is it really necessary to drive quite so fast?
More often than you might think.
Yes. Yes. A cheeky little power slide around the corner.
Yep. So that's it. And he's in full casual mode. Still a cheeky little cravat poking out.
I was going to mention that there is a little silk cravat there, which that's a lovely choice.
Casual Bond.
Oh yeah.
Bond on the weekend, right there.
Yes. Bond having a little relax there, but still maintaining the sartorial standards.
That's it. Yeah, it's still
beautifully done.
Yeah, it's still rocking a nice Omega as well. Just discreetly, just not the whole thing sticking out, just enough.
Just enough, just under the cuff there. Yeah, beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. I have to say, Brosnan's wardrobe in this is superb. A new tailor for this film, Brioni, for an Italian tailor, made all his suits for this film. Really bringing it up to style. And is there anybody that wears a suit better than Brosnan?
It's true. He pulls it off incredibly, and we've discussed it before as well. We've got Daniel Craig became known for the flick of the cuffs.
Yes.
Whereas Brosnan, it's all about the tie adjustment.
It's straightening the tie.
Always.
Isn't it? Yes.
Always.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
Yeah, it is. He wears some really nice stuff in this film. He said during that watch along that he did during lockdown that he has all of the suits from his film. It was in his contract that he got one of each outfit.
Fantastic.
But he says he can't actually fit into any of them anymore.
He
does still have them.
Thank goodness I'm not the only one just anything I've previously bought doesn't work anymore. The washing machine's broken.
It's a problem. Everything. They shrink. Yeah, it's an issue. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
The wardrobe in this is really good, really strong. Yeah.
Very nice indeed.
But yes, little byplay between the Aston and the Ferrari.
Yes, we have a nice little race there.
Nice little race, if you like. Yes, there was, I believe, a crash when they were making that sequence.
Yes.
The Aston did at one point collide with the Ferrari.
that will happen, but it's fine. It's fine. Start it out. However, we've discussed it before as well. Of going, Aston's probably not going to keep up with that. But let's not worry about it. Let's not worry about it.
No. You don't want to. No. You don't look at that. No. That's
and
fine.
I think what a choice as well. Very of its time. And it's aged beautifully as well.
The Ferrari,
the 355, is one of the most elegant, more modern Ferraris.
Well, Ferrari, we talked about this before. We're touching on our other favourite subject here of cars, but we've reached a point, I think, where you assume Ferraris are good looking because they're Ferraris, but actually, quite a lot of them haven't been.
No, because I know the pubic hair man, Clarkson, has he said the same, and I don't like to agree with him on all points by any stretch, but that is correct. It's like you shouldn't assume in this case.
No, and I think people do with Ferrari. Oh, it's a Ferrari; it must be stunning. Well, yeah, some of them aren't. Some of them are right weird looking.
Some of them are proper munters, but
they are. That one isn't though. That one is superb.
Yes, we'd all have one of those.
And with Famke Janssen at the wheel, I mean, it's got it all.
The parsnips have been buttered.
Yes, they certainly have.
Very good. So yes, and that culminates with sorting out some cyclists. Spot on.
Yes.
And then Celia gets all a bit fidgety. I want you to stop this car. Really?
Oh, yes. Stop this car at once.
Yeah. Yes. Cheeky little handbrake. Release the champagne. Seal the deal.
Seal the deal. Yeah. Oh, you went a bit Partridge there. Yeah. But yes.
Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cash back.
Yeah. So he's all sorted there. That's it.
He is. Yeah,
he's calmed her down. It's a recognised technique. If you need to calm the lady down, you go, "Ooh, have you had this fermented wine beverage?" Fermented grape beverage. Sorry, yes.
Yes, he's ensured a positive review there. I think. Yes.
So that's dealt with that. And now we cut to.
And just before we move on, just for a second, I'm assuming because. It's 9 years since the pre-title sequence. That takes us back into the Dalton era. Now, of course, at the end of License to Kill, at the beginning of License to Kill, Bond's License to Kill is revoked and he's effectively kicked out of the Secret Service. We're not a country club, 007, and all of that. And I require you to hand over your weapon. And he's kind of goes rogue in License to Kill. And I wonder if he's been kind of bumming around for a few years and this evaluation that he's going through is him coming back to duty.
It's an excellent interpretation. I've never considered it, but
it fits though, doesn't it? It's like, well, he wasn't. Yes, at the end of License to Kill, there's that line of Felix's, M's trying to get hold of you. I think he may have a job for you.
Yes.
But
what we get, just a little License to Kill interlude there.
Mm-hmm.
Felix, with a cheeky leg off and a dead wife, is surprisingly chirpy.
Yes. Yeah, he is. He is. We can go fishing. What?
The love of your life has been murdered, and you've not got all the limbs you started the film with, mate.
He's very cheery, isn't he? Oh, I've heard from him. He might have a job for you. It's like, hang on, your life's in tatters.
Yeah, sorry, I just thought.
Yes, he is. You're quite right. He is surprisingly cheerful given the events of the film. Yes. He's like, oh, it's all right. He didn't mean it. You burned him to a crisp anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
All is well. Anyway, I don't know whether that was intentional. It's just I always was trying to sort of rationalize the story, and I thought, well, yeah, this could be his evaluation to come back to service.
He's
had a little time away.
Yeah, could very well be.
Bought himself a cheeky Aston, and has been knocking around the southern parts of Europe, as he probably would be. And she's been sent out to see whether he can come back or not, and he ensures a positive review. And
that's it.
Yeah, off we go to Monte Carlo, which I think is where you were about to take us.
Yes, because we end up at a casino, don't we?
We do. There's a funny story about this, which I recall from back in the day.
Go on then.
There's the scene where Bond pulls up outside the casino in the DB5.
Yeah.
And he gets out, and the valet comes, and etc. And he is Dr. Cool at that point.
Oh yeah.
Well, turns out Brosnan was driving the DB5, and it wasn't driving right, and there was this awful smell, and he pulled it up outside the casino they were getting the shot, and it was a bit smoky and it smells a bit hot. And they one of the props guys goes up to it and said, "Hey, are you driving this thing with a handbrake on?"
Oh, you tit.
So they had to let it cool down a bit and do that again.
Oops.
Not so cool.
No. Come on, Brosnan, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh dear. However, his coolness is reinstated because that strut through the casino.
Oh, yeah. He's Mr. Confident, isn't he?
I'll tell you what, as well, with it being Martin Campbell directing it, Daniel Craig does a very, very similar strut through the casino.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Subtly different to how the others did it, because they've all done a strut through a casino.
I just think his two, there's some decent similarities there.
Yeah, I think there is. And like you say, I'm sure that's from the direction.
Yeah.
I mean, they both Brosnan and Craig had studied all the other films.
Yeah.
They both said that they went back and watched all of them, and really studied the other guy's interpretation of it. But yeah, there's a certain. I mean, Brosnan just looks so good.
He's irritatingly cool, even to this day. You go, how have you done this?
Yeah, I know. It's a thing, isn't it? Because he didn't have it when he was younger, I don't think.
He's a bit too... I know what you mean. He was really quite slender as a youth.
Yeah, almost bordering on a bit gangly.
Yeah. And as soon as he hit puberty, that he really filled out a bit there, didn't he?
Yeah. No, he certainly did for Tomorrow Never Dies, but anyway, that's another review.
We're not there yet.
No, but you're right. Walking into that casino, 3-piece dinner suit, I believe.
Oh yeah.
And just confident, and he just owns it. He's just there.
That's it.
He is Bond at that point.
Yeah, that's it. And what's the chops on the top is finding it difficult to acquire some players at the table, and he just pops himself down.
Yep. Well,
That's
a bit
it.
of this. Yes. And he's not actually on a mission at this point. He's still just bumming around.
Yeah, he's loving a bit of it. And it's so utterly refreshing to see him at a casino table playing baccarat.
Yeah, we hadn't had that for a while.
No, because while we did have heavy casino in License to Kill, it was all a bit blackjack, wasn't it?
Well, it was Mexico, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it wasn't the same.
But this is Monte Carlo.
Yeah,
proper game cards. Famke Janssen with the longest cigar known to man.
Yeah, but it works, doesn't it?
She's terrifying.
I tell you, the character she reminds me of throughout this film actually is Fatima Blush from Never Say Never Again.
Yeah. Not
Same
bad, yeah.
sort of character. And I think Barbara Carrera plays it in a very similar way to what Famke Janssen does with it. She so enjoys being who she is.
Yeah.
It's that same kind of overconfident, thing. And I think it's they both play it in the same way. Yeah,
there's no messing. I like that.
I don't imagine for 1 minute that's what Famke Janssen was going for, but I think they're you can draw comparisons there.
I think so. And they've got excellent rapport. He gets her a drink. He delivers his first introductory line with his name.
Yes. Yeah, I think he's talked about he had a lot of trouble with that Bond, James Bond. Didn't want to say it the way Sean said it and didn't want to say it the way Roger said it, and he had a lot of trouble trying to work, and in the end he just thought, well, it's mine now, I'm going to do it my way, and I just need to leave the other guys behind.
Yeah. That's fair, because I think the way he did it is perfect in that film. Absolutely brilliant. But my favorite delivery of it is still Dr. No, with Sean halfway through lighting a cigarette.
Yes.
It couldn't be more casual if he tried. And considering he was quite the unknown and quite the novice actor, to pull off something that suave.
That may not have been him. That may have been Terence Young.
It could well have been.
It probably was.
The execution was still Sean.
Yes, it was. And it was perfect. Like you say, none of them will ever beat that.
No. Well, that's it. I mean, the day is long since past now, where you're going to see Bond with a cigarette on the go.
Well, they don't now, do they? No, Bond kind of doesn't smoke anymore.
No, even if we go back to the rumored, it's going to be set in period, I bet there won't be smoking.
I bet there won't be any smoking in it. No, not anymore.
Yeah.
No, indeed. They've actually not talking about the Daniel Craig era, but they've actually in the more recent films actually accelerated his drinking rather than the smoking. I mean, in No Time to Die, he was right on the bottle in that.
He was right on it. Perhaps not as much as M, as we discussed.
Well,
thirsty, are we?
Thirsty today, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes. True. A lot of drinking in No Time to Die. Anyway.
Yeah, it's surprising any of them can do a single thing. You think they'd be riddled with gout.
Absolutely trolleyed all the time.
Constantly. And it's not like, we're just going to have a casual bottle of beer. They're all just banging whiskey back.
That's right. It's like half a bottle of whiskey's gone.
Yeah.
That's right. Indeed. More tea, Vicar. Yes.
Good heavens. Yes. Yeah, he's nowhere near as drinky in this one.
No.
So we've had that.
We get the introduction of the Admiral.
No, yeah, the really freakishly weird Admiral. He's Canadian, as I recall, isn't he?
Yeah,
Canadian Air Force or something like that.
He is weird, isn't it, that character?
Yeah. So they go back to his boat, Yacht Manticore, I believe.
Manticore, yes, very good. Yes.
That's where Bond has a little snap, and we get the line where, oh god, we've even commented on it before.
Oh yeah.
Approves you to observe Miss on the top, but stipulates no
strictly
contact.
No contact without prior approval. Yes.
Just you'll stay on the top of things.
Oh dear.
God, it's bad. It's bad.
It is bad, and Brosnan's little smile.
Yeah. No, so I think he realised she's a bit too mental to have a little go.
Yes, he doesn't with her, does he? You're right. No, he doesn't go anywhere near that. No.
She tries, but that's a hard no from him. The admiral ends up back on the sexy yacht, and
it doesn't come off too well there, does it?
No, but I mean, he died with a weird grin on his face, didn't he?
It's quite a scene, that, actually, for a Bond film.
Yeah, you go, what's happening here? It's like she's all spruced up in the old lingerie.
He's not. He's letting it all hang out.
Yeah, that's it. Well, he has let himself go, hasn't he? I mean,
the chubby little admiral there. Yeah.
I mean, we're all like that, really.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
So he's having a whale of a time, and the old sexy thighs get a good old grip on him.
Considering this film was released under a 12 certificate, it's quite a sequence.
Yeah, that's a difficult one, because you can imagine having that conversation with the kids at the time and going,
yeah,
what's happening there then? And I went, oh, well.
Well, now, yeah.
He thought he was going to get his end away. However, she's got sexy death grips thighs right round him and squeeze the life out of him.
The sexy death grips thighs.
Yeah,
that's surprisingly difficult to say. Yes, yes, and she has a little squeeze. Yeah,
but if you're gonna go, fuck it, might as well go for it.
No more Admiral. Yeah, it's there are worse ways to buy it. Yeah.
So that's it. So we get that.
But there's a weird thing here. He then might be skipping over a slight bit here, but just to touch on this, he then gets her onto the warship where the helicopter is.
Yeah.
So they must have a passable double.
You see, I've written this down.
But they don't mention that. There's no reference to that at all.
No, there's no reference to it. It's implied. Nothing more. Which leads me on to go, well, and I've got a whiff of the old Thunderball about it, isn't it?
Well, exactly. It's Commandant Dorval of NATO, isn't it?
That's it.
It's the same thing.
But we don't have a suave Italian. We've got a chubby little Canadian.
It's not the same at all, is it?
No. But
and the hat is too far back on your head.
Yeah. No, we didn't have any of that. There's
yeah, that is weird, isn't it? And they just completely skip over it. And you just see sort of the back of his head and a hand, and you don't see.
Part of me thinks that was just a nice little nod.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was. They've got a double of this Admiral. Although, given how into her he seems to be, he might well have got her on the boat anyway. Taken her as a guest. They probably didn't have to kill him.
No, but, well, it's giggle, isn't it?
Apparently. Yeah. Not if you're the Admiral.
When Bond pops himself onto the yacht, and
yes, I skipped slightly ahead there, but
no, that's fine. It's only a hint of skipping. It's not an issue. And
his outfit, the blazer, the cream trousers. Oh,
he got up in the morning and goes, I'm going to inspect this yacht. Must dress in my yacht outfit.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yes. This calls for the yachting outfit. Yes.
So
where's the blazer? Yes.
But one of my favourite bits of that is the he's having a little snoop around, and he sees the reflection of the assailant dressed in full boatman gear.
He's got his own yacht outfit. Yes.
Yes, but you can tell he's a pauper.
Oh yeah, he's servant. Yeah.
But Bond weaponizes a towel,
He does.
Then after he's dealt with the assailant, just dabs himself down.
Just dab the brow a little bit there. Oh, this is hot work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
again, so unbelievably cool.
Yeah. And what is fantastic as well, I've seen some behind the scenes photography of Pierce waiting to shoot this scene, and his daughter's with him.
Oh, right.
And they've clearly both been reading the scene because they both started acting out. Someone took some candid photographs of him.
Really?
Him acting it out with his daughter.
He was practicing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's pretty cool.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. Well, as we've said before, he was so delighted to finally be Bond. He just so wanted to do it. And he was so happy.
As well he should. It's just a masterpiece.
It is.
So, yeah, like you said, we end up getting Crazy Rusky Lady onto the boat. And ultimately, they nick the fancy Tiger helicopter, which is impervious to EMPs. Remember this salient point.
Yes, it's a very important point, that.
Yeah.
Little behind-the-scenes tip here. She is, when she is down in the boat and the real pilots come out and she whistles and they turn and she shoots them, the guy on the left is the stuntman who did the swallow dive off the dam at the beginning.
Oh, very good. Nice little nod there.
You can tell from the hair. He's got the Brosnan hair.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I forget his name, which is really bad. I should know his name, but it's him. The one on the left is the same.
Oh, very
same
good
guy. Yeah,
I like that. Well done, you.
Uh-huh.
So that's when we cut to.
Bond goes up the gangplank.
Yeah, so he has a little chase, gets pinned up against the wall, and goes, "Someone's nicking at me." He went, "Oh, too late, it's gone." Well,
it's gone. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I could have stopped that. Yes. Yeah. So the Tiger helicopter is stolen. The prototype Tiger helicopter is stolen. Yeah. By our sexy Russian lady.
That's it. And what we assume is Oromov?
Well, it's Oromov when they land.
Mind you, you don't know where they stopped en route, do you? That's fair.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Oromov when they take off. I can't believe he would be there himself.
No, that would be a bit weird. So, cut to the scene in the radar station at 7i.
Yeah, we've now got a sequence that Bond actually isn't in.
And that's
which is quite nice.
Yeah, yes. So we're having a little set the scene. We've got Boris being his weird self.
Oh, Alan Cummings as Boris.
Just genius cast.
Just brilliant. Yeah.
With
I am invincible.
Yes. The world's greatest hacker and computer genius who, God forbid, couldn't use a password that's not based on a dictionary word.
Let's not get into the tech. Let's not get into the tech because we'll tear it to pieces. Tonight's episode, by the way, is sponsored by IBM for all your 14.4 modem and 500 meg hard drive needs.
Yes, don't worry, that is on my list.
Thought it might be.
Yeah. So we've got the
IBM product placement in this is off the charts.
Dear. I mean, it's not a patch on product placement in the Daniel Craig ones, but still.
Oh no, Ford wins that battle, absolutely. But...
with Sony not far behind.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're right in front of you and can open very large
doors. Yes. Yeah, but then she only presses 3 keys and a 7-letter word appears.
The very interesting style of typing that she does, sort of align fingers on keys, and then just smash around a little.
Yeah, the right word will come out.
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah, and Alan Cummings, who only ever types with one hand.
Yes.
Left hand.
I mean, I don't know what his dominant hand is, if I'm honest.
No, we could say Boris is left-handed. That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but I mean, they stereotyped, I'll be honest.
Do you think?
Yeah. Apart from Natalia.
Oh, Natalia.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Who's going to have a go at pronouncing her full name?
The character's name.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. She gives a middle name, doesn't she, at one point?
Natalia Fiora de Semyonova.
No, you cocked that up.
I think I might have, but it's not bad. But I'm not Russian, I'm afraid.
Natalia Fyodorova Semyonova.
Oh, there you go. Good enough.
There you go.
But you know what I mean? Why can't they? It's just not easy names, is it?
No. I don't know. I mean, presumably Nat for short. Although they never refer to her as that.
No, Natalia I can cope with. Just the one bit of the name, that's fine. You could practice that.
But to get through the weird security thing, they have to say the...
Yeah.
But if we're into pronouncing names, there's a problem with a pronunciation a bit later on that actually one of the characters stumbles over, and it's in the film. But anyway, we'll come back to that.
So we end up here.
So there we are in the Russian programming lab.
Yep. And this is where we discover the helicopter turns up. The Goldeneye is a thing, and it can be activated with two weird things.
Two weird things that look, very weird.
Yeah, I've got nothing. It bears no resemblance to any tech I've ever dealt with.
No, some sort of mounted crystal thing in a... I don't know. Yeah, it didn't know. So
that goes. They set the target as 7-Eye itself. There's another satellite up there for them to do naughty things with.
Yeah. So they're going to sacrifice the first one to erase the trace of the crime. Yeah. I think we need to touch on Ms. Onatop's what's the word?
Leathery outfit?
No, although that is marvellous. No, her reaction to killing everyone.
Oh, yeah, she makes, what can only be described as dirty sex noises.
Yeah. And I love the look that Urumov gives her in that.
He's like, she's flying on the way back. I'm not keen on this. That's the look he gives.
That's right. Like, I mean, he's a psycho, but even he finds her a bit much.
Yeah, he's a nutty Russian general, and he's looked over and went, "Whoa,
we got one here. Yes, we got a right one here."
Yeah, she's having a little shoot with her AK, and she bloody loves a bit of that.
She enjoys that, doesn't she? Yeah.
Perhaps a bit too much, but there you go.
Yep. A little bit.
Can't be helped.
But again, it's Fatima Blush, isn't it? She just so enjoys being who she is.
Yeah. So we have a bit of that. Murder all of the witnesses, destroy all the evidence, on your way. Who did we forget?
Oh, we missed one there, didn't we? Even though I had to ventilate someone. Yeah.
Classic Bond villain issue there. Don't verify that you've killed them. Just assume.
No, don't check it. No, just assume all is well. Yeah,
that's it.
So, see, this is the problem with all these criminal organisations.
So that's it. Natalia has lived to see another day, although she doesn't get off lightly because she thinks all is well. Then the satellite strikes 7-Eye, then she can't get out, and then when she thinks she can get out, the bloody antenna comes through the ceiling.
Yeah, she's using up quite a lot of her lives there. Yeah.
All in all, she's had a crap half hour.
It's not great. Yeah.
No,
it's not great. And she spilled her coffee.
Oh mate. And when the old dish comes through the roof, don't half mess up her hairdo.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. That it's a strange scene there because great sadness, but also moments of great comedy in it. It's she's looking at all the bodies of her colleagues and she's covering up her friend with a jacket, and then
You wouldn't know woman if one came and sat on his head.
Yes, her. Yes, that's right. Yes.
That one.
Yeah. Yeah, she gets a bullet through the noggin.
Oh, yeah.
But, she manages to get out.
Yeah, so all is well. But while this is all unfolding, we cut back to Bond.
We're back at MI6, so the new MI6.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, the real one.
The real one. Well, probably not, but it certainly looks like it from the outside.
Well, the exteriors are.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've got a bit of that. We get our introduction of our new Moneypenny.
Yes, Samantha.
Samantha. Oh, I didn't realize she was so terribly posh.
Samantha Bond. Yes. Very good choice. Very good choice.
Oh, yep. We come back to the parsnips reference again. And then we get Tanner, which is a very nice addition.
Yes, he's very good. Yes. Bit of exposition.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we arrive at our new M.
Oh, glorious.
Yep.
Glorious. The evil queen of numbers.
Yes.
It's an interesting thing in these early scenes. They're setting her up very much as, follows the data, follows the opinion of her analysts, and is very data driven, very number driven. But we never come back to that in any other. She never has that character trait again. In fact, in the later films, she's very emotionally driven.
Well, maybe
gut
the role
feeling
changed her, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, but yeah, those two play off one another superbly throughout that entire scene, and it's a scene that we're all very familiar with, and we don't need to go into it in great detail. But the thing that I'd like to focus on is the fact that they don't entirely get on.
No, that's clear right from the very beginning, isn't it? Yes.
However, when she issues him with his orders and he gets up and very elegantly buttons the jacket, walks to the door, Bond, come back alive. So there's a sort of little lift of the lips from Pierce as he departs. Excellent bit of acting, but there's also, it's verging on a grin from M.
Yeah,
which is something you wouldn't expect. You go, actually, she is very, very keen on him remaining part of the team. She knows he's good, but doesn't want to let him know that he's good.
Exactly. She knows he'll get the job done. That little smile that she gives while she's looking back down at the paperwork on her desk, that I like to think is a little nod back to Octopussy. When Bond leaves M's office at the beginning and he's stolen the Fabergé egg, and M's, good God. And, I switched it with the fake during the auction and all of that. When Bond leaves his office, M gives a little smile as he's leaving. Like, that was bad, but he's on it.
I approve enormously. But
he's going to sort this. Yes, I can't approve of that, but he's on this.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the same look.
Yeah.
He's. I can't officially approve of any of this, but he's on it.
Yeah. So that was excellent. And then we end up down. We cut to Q's lab from here, don't we?
Oh yeah, we do, don't we? That's right. Yes, he goes down to get his bits and bobs. Yeah,
get his bits and bobs.
No, we don't. We've skipped a scene.
What do we get?
After the M's office, it cuts to Russia and the meeting.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? With Defense Minister Dmitry Mishkin.
Yes,
and his
Michael
cronies.
T. Wilson is one of his cronies.
Yes, he's sat at the big table, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so we have the Defense Minister questioning Oromov about the events.
This is where Mishkin mangles Urov's name.
Yeah.
If you listen to it, it's just...
What?
Sorry, you just had a stroke.
Sorry, say that one more time.
He completely mangles it, but they left it in.
It sounded Russian, so it's fine.
That will do. That was. Yeah. I'm sorry. That was just a noise.
Yeah. Right. While we're on the topic of Defence Minister Dmitry Mishkin,
yes.
Can I bring up the topic of his incredibly oddly shaped facial hair?
It's a very weird beard, isn't it?
Weird beard, yes, very nice.
It's a very weird beard. It is. It's sort of started as a goatee, but it's got a bit out of hand.
Yeah, it's a goatee. I like it with wings. But what are you doing, man?
It's very strange, isn't it? Maybe that's why he can't speak properly.
It's got my beard stuck. He injects a lot of comedy. Supposed to be there. He's meant to be a very serious, stern Russian minister. And all he is a source of comedy because he can't shave properly or speak.
He's a babbling weirdo at the end of the table.
But yes, because without sounding harsh or stereotyping, it's oh god, hang on, I'm trying to remember his name. I'm going to have to look it up. Bear with me just for a brief moment. Where is he? There he is. Oh, my God. I can't even begin to say his actual name.
Oh, the actor's name?
Yeah, because...
Well, you don't have to. You just, that was
honestly, he crops up in so many things.
He does.
But he always plays generic European person with an accent.
Right.
Because
he's got that look, hasn't he?
He does. You remember he was... oh, for goodness sake. He was the villain in the original Bad Boys film, Fouché.
Oh, yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he was.
Any time there has to be a sort of foreign, possibly a bit of a shit.
Yes, random Eastern European goon.
Yeah.
Yes. I know we can get.
Oh, he's brilliant for that. You'll love him. But yes, he was an actor that was used a hell of a lot and still is.
Yeah.
And he does a good job. We take the piss out of his pronunciation, but
that wasn't a pronunciation.
All right. It was no, it wasn't. It was
he just lost the will with it halfway through.
Yeah, not so good, but it's fine. It's fine.
He styled it out. It was fine. Yes.
Oh my goodness me! This will explain the odd accent. I've just had a quick Google of him. I'm like I said, I've got nothing on his first name. Would you like me to? Can I spell it for you?
Have a go. Let me write it down so
right.
I can have a go myself.
Right. T C H.
Oh, we've gone wrong already.
E with a little accent above it.
Oh.
K Y. Go on then. No.
That doesn't work, does it?
No. There's a lot of letters all in the wrong order there.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to win a Scrabble with that.
No.
Cheeky?
Yeah, if you like.
Cheeky? Because the little accent above the E, it's sort of intonation, so it'll be It won't be an E, it'll be an E. So it's cheeky? I have no idea.
Yeah. That's him.
That's a fella.
But allow me to explain why the accent might be a bit all over the place. He's born in Istanbul, but then grew up in Paris.
Oh, that's going to ruin it.
All over the shop with all of the accents there.
Yeah.
So yes, there you go. Right.
Oh, we've spent far too long on a relative significant character.
Yeah, but it's important to cover these things. So from there, that's when we end up with Q, isn't it?
That's when we end up with Q, because Urumov is then in that more people survived than he knew about.
Yeah.
And
I was aware only of the one, Boris Grishenko.
And that's right, the level 2 programmer. Yes.
No. Natalia was a level 2 programmer.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, no, they're good to correct that. Yeah.
She works on the guidance system.
Yeah, well, as it turned out, that was the only bit that worked properly.
Yeah. Oh dear. I get a feeling we've probably watched this more often than we've needed to.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, yes. Every time we've done a Bond review, I do so in the knowledge that, well, if I don't get to watch it, it's okay because we're
probably all right.
Yes, right.
So we end up at Q's lab. In the background, we see a lot of nonsense.
It's a great scene, actually. There's a lot of fun things going on, and Desmond Llewellyn isn't reading from a cue card at all, and it's all fine.
Yeah, but the gadgets he actually gets given aren't daft. They're verging on sensible, which is quite nice because I think with it being the first outing for Brosnan as Bond, it's not been too reliant on the gadgets. He gets his pen and they blow up Fred.
Sorry about this, Fred. Yes.
Yeah, gets his new belt, doesn't he? It's tested for 1007.
That's right. Yes, you can clearly see Desmond that he's looking straight past Brosnan when he's expecting out shoots a piton.
Yes. All of that.
Pointless BMW.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've said it before, and we'll say it again. Worst Bond car ever.
Yeah, it is. It's not a good car.
It's not a good car. It doesn't do anything.
No,
and it's forgettable. And we'll put it in the nonsense file.
Purely for product placement. It has no other place in the story.
No, that's it. So yeah, I have no intention to dwell on that whatsoever.
The fact that he has to list 5 forward gears as one of its key features, and as we know from Top Gear, even they don't work properly. So
not a good car.
No, really bad.
No,
really
make that go away.
Bad. But the rest of Q's lab is lovely, nicely updated in the new building.
Yeah, a bit fancier, and a lot of the silliness going on behind, which is good. And then
man stuck in a phone box. Yeah,
excellent. X-ray document scanner. Don't touch that. That's my lunch.
That's my lunch. Yes.
All of that.
That's quite a lunch, actually. It was quite hefty.
Yeah. He's got a fair amount of meat and greenery in there. Tied him over till dinner without any issues whatsoever.
For a man of his advanced years, that's a yes,
sizable portion.
You could say that, yeah.
Yep. So X-ray document scanner, British Airways ticket to St. Petersburg. Blah blah blah. Cut to the scene of the plane, getting off, and we get the introduction of a character that I could probably live without.
Jack Wade. Now, this is the first time we've had an actor previously played a villain return as a completely different character.
Brad Whitaker from Living Daylights.
Living Daylights, played by Joe Don Baker. Yeah.
He was a bit irritating in that, if I'm honest. As well.
He's a bit irritating in that because you don't really think of him as the main villain. You think of Koskov as the main villain.
You do, because
much better by Jeroen Krabbe.
Yeah, and it's nice that we all think that because that helps enormously.
It does help enormously. Anyway, that's Living Daylights. But Jack Wade's a strange character, isn't he? It should have been Felix, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't.
Probably because Felix is still on crutches, I should imagine.
Yeah, the leg hasn't grown back just yet.
No, not just yet. No, that comes later. But
yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one.
A fairly pointless character who really only exists for exposition.
Yeah,
and just sort of lays out how things are working over there in Russia. Yeah,
that's great and all, and nice Bond if he likes a bit of gardening and
Muffy.
Third wife.
Yes. And his lovely little car.
No,
she's an ugly little bitch, but she'll get you there. Except she doesn't.
No, she doesn't. She broke down on the only journey that we've seen the car take. Do you want
in that never
Jimbo? Yeah.
Yes.
The bigger one, the sledge.
In that little square where there appears to be no exit, and the cars behind them are just going round.
Yeah, cheeky little circles. Possibly the only character in Bond to call him Jimbo.
No, Jimbo. Yes, the taxi driver in Live and Let Die calls Jim.
Yeah, Jimbo. I think is
Jimbo is unique,
reserved purely for Wade there.
Yeah,
So
Jimbo,
dreadful. And however, we then get the introduction of a marvelous character.
Now we've got a high point. Yeah.
Free market economy. I swear it'll be the end of me.
Yes. Valentin Dmitriev Zhukovsky.
Yeah, played by the late great Robbie Coltrane. How
really
he will be missed.
Yes, he will be missed, and he was another one delighted to be in a Bond film.
And he played it to perfection.
Yeah, he did. Even though, again, his character's got a lot of exposition, a lot of explaining to do. A lot of history to lay out, that these two know each other from old, and this is what he's doing now, and he knows a bit about the villain, but he doesn't really know him, and there's a lot of talk with him. But you don't care, because any moment with Coltrane on screen is great.
And he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Just a genius bit of casting and a character that will forever be remembered. I know he cropped up again, but
he did crop up again, and no doubt we'll cover that in a future review. But in this, he's the chemistry between him and Brosnan.
Really good. We're probably glossing over a sneaky little cameo in the background as well. Of
Minnie Driver.
Yes. As Irina singing "Stand by Your Man" in Russian.
Strangling a cat.
That is Irina, my mistress.
Yes.
Very, very talented girl.
Very talented girl. Yes.
Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
I like that she popped in for a giggle.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was nice that she's there.
So yes,
and there's the slightly side scene in Valentin's, presumably his sort of private office, where they're explaining the whole Lienz Cossack thing.
Yeah, about
again a lot of exposition to lay out there, but I think they do it really well.
That's it, because it's a true and significant part of history.
Yeah, that's real history. Yeah, absolutely.
And the fact that it's written into the story and sets the scene. The first time you see it, you don't see it coming, but when it's happened, you go, "Oh bloody hell, yes!"
Yeah, that's right. It really makes it live, and it gives you a really strong motivation for Trevelyan's character. Something that we are sadly lacking in some later films.
I'm saying nothing.
No.
So we have a bit of that. So it's implied that Valentin is going to set up the meets because Bond's staying at the Grand Hotel Europe. He's having cheeky swim, gets out, and there's everyone's favourite thigh wielding hench lady.
Yes. You don't need the gun, Commander.
Depends on your definition of safe sex. It was almost Connery when he.
It was. Yeah, it was. A bit of Connery on his shoulder there, I think.
That's it. So there's a little bit of rough and tumble as it gets a bit heated. Some rotund chap with a beard comes in and gets a bucket to the face.
Bucket in the face for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on in here?
You're clearly assaulting that poor lady. Bucket. Oh God, I've gone. Yeah.
Spark out on the floor. Yeah. And he came in
No more foreplay. So cheeky little Walther in the face.
Yeah, off we go.
Off we pop. We go to the weird sort of statue yard.
Mercedes C-Class, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I must say I've had a lovely
evening. Yes.
Once again, the pleasure was all yours. Yep. So little club round the back of the head. Sweet dreams or pleasant dreams, whatever it was. And off he wanders to have a little look about in the really odd. We've got this. Here in Russia, we have scrapyard for statues. Yeah,
it's a weird set, but I think it works really well with all the strange angled shadows and the way they lit it. I think it works really well.
Yeah,
With
that's
the
it.
The big Lenin head over in the corner, and
yeah. Soviet as you like.
Well, of course, we forget watching it now how fresh all that was.
Not a lot of time had passed, to be honest.
No, we're only talking a few years.
And then we get the familiar voice from the shadows. Hello, James.
Hello, James. What that accent? Yes.
It's just brilliant, and Bros's face is, what is this nonsense?
Yeah, he does play it extremely well. He's got a good face in this.
Yeah. Put it away, James. It's insulting to think I haven't anticipated every move. All of that.
Yeah.
That's
cheeky little dart to the neck.
That's cool. Yes.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, closing time, James.
Yep. So a bit of that. Dart to the neck. Sleepy time. Wake up. Random Russian bird screaming at you while you're tied to a helicopter.
I'm a little tied up.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So we get the excellence of an escape going. You look at it and go, it says eject. That can't be sensible in a fucking helicopter, you lunatic.
No.
You're gonna turn to a miss.
I did wonder about that.
But fortunately, someone thought that through. So eject those blades. Don't worry about any innocent bystanders nearby getting a blade to the face.
Oh, no, don't worry about that. No, as long as the pilots are all right.
That's it. Cue a nice ejection. Helps Natalia out. She gives him a good old kicking.
She's not into that.
No, she's not ready for an assistance out of a helicopter. Then cue all of the Russian military AKs to the face. Oh dear.
Yeah, all of that. There they all are. Yeah, awfully quickly.
Oh yeah. It's as if it's premeditated. That. So we do a bit of that.
Yeah, but it's not, is it? Because they're supposed to have been blown up.
Which is weird. I don't get it. But
again, classic Bond villain failure. Don't check it's worked. Just assume it'll all go fine.
Yeah, I mean, shooting them right there and then is just not direct enough.
No, you can't do that. No, you see, you don't understand how this works.
No. However, it does still work in their favour, them being captured by Russians, and they've got a British secret agent and a Seven-Eye programmer, as they stated in the interview when Mishkin pops in again with his crazy beard. It's right, because he asked,
enunciate. Yes.
And what method of execution should we do, or whatever it is? But he can do all that. And he says, Mr. Bond. He go, it's one syllable.
That's an easy name. He can do that one.
There's no point in showing off.
He doesn't have a go at her name, though, does he? No.
Nope. So that's probably for the best.
Brosnan has to get him. Yeah. See, well, today nobody takes the trouble to do a really sinister interrogation.
That's it.
Said in that way only Brosnan can say it.
And then Natalia spills all the beans, and Mishkin's like, you're saying something about the lost art of interrogation, Mr. Bond. She spilled the beans. She's not ready for a Soviet interrogation. She's not up for that. So
no, she's not interested in that. Well, she actually doesn't care, does she? I mean,
No.
she doesn't care whose motivation is what or who's there for what. She's not part of any of it.
No, quite. Then Mishkin's favourite man pops in. Oh, it's Gagaguru. I've seen this.
I fear we have just ruined this for everyone.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I've seen this gun in the hands of an enemy." It's like, do you even know who the enemy is, Jim?
I have to say, he plays Urumov extremely well.
Yeah. And then, shoots the guard, shoots Mishkin, and goes. Then sets the scene and going, defense finisher Dmitry Mishkin killed by British agent
James
to
Bond.
escape.
He does play it extremely well.
He goes a bit of camp at the end. Trying to escape.
Yeah,
all right, calm down.
Mind you, he's got a bit of a bendy leg at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the way he's standing when he shoots Trevelyan in the pre-title sequence, like one leg stuck out, hand on the hips, it's like, oh, hello.
Have you seen my barrel? Yeah.
See, again, we've just ruined that for everyone as well. Gottfried John is the name of the actor. I just looked it up. I was trying to remember. Yes, but yeah, he's. I'm not sure about him. He could go. Yeah,
that's fine.
Go either way. Yeah,
that's fine. We don't object to such. But yeah, it does occasionally. It does. There's a hint of campness in the.
There is. Yeah, there is.
So then we have an escape from quite the secure Russian facility. All that's going on. Natalia obviously hunkers down, gets herself caught again.
Yeah.
And we arrive at the scene that possibly is one of the most iconic of the film.
Yeah, I think so. One of the most iconic of the series, I would say.
Yeah, flings himself out of the window courtesy of his belt with the piton.
With the piton, yes.
And then eyes up a cheeky little escape vehicle there.
Yeah, very handy.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, we've punched in a lovely tank there.
Even though the one he looks at is actually nowhere near where he comes out, and there's several other vehicles away, and he's going to have to spend about an hour of manoeuvring it. We won't worry about that.
No, don't worry about that. No. So out he pops. Cue the music.
Well, now it's interesting you should mention the music. There's a thing here. Generally, and I mentioned this at the beginning, that I think this film has a weak point, and I think it's the music. I don't like Eric Serra's score for this at all. I think it detracts from most of the scenes. I think it's very weak. It doesn't work for me at all. I think the score is this film's big weak point.
Okay.
I don't like what Eric Serra did with it at all. And neither, it turns out, did Martin Campbell. There's something in the DVD documentary that I spent some time with. And he says that the music that Eric Serra delivered to go under the tank chase was, when they edited it together, the pitch, the registration of the music matched exactly to the sounds of the tank's engine, and the music just disappeared under the special effects. So Campbell phoned up Eric Serra in France and said, look, this track you've delivered doesn't work. It's disappearing under the special effects. It's not strong enough. It's not, this is the big action set piece. And the music's just disappearing. Can you do something else? Can you change it? Can you do something different with it? And of course, I suppose, being French,
No.
You just turn down the effects. No. I'm not going to do. We've spent a lot of effort getting all the noises and everything. No, I'm not just going to turn it down. I want different music. And he just, no, I'm not going to do it. No, the music's the music. I'm not changing it. So Martin Campbell took it upon himself to have a word with another composer that he knew, John Altman, and had a completely new piece of music composed for that sequence. It doesn't appear on the soundtrack album, but if you listen to that sequence, the music is completely different to the rest of the film. And it's because Martin Campbell commissioned a different piece of music because he couldn't work with what Eric Serra delivered. Serra wouldn't change it. So Campbell said, right, well, sod you, I'm going to get something else written. And that's what's in the film.
Very good.
It doesn't appear on the soundtrack album. Eric Serra's original appears on the soundtrack album. But the piece of music that's in the film, Martin Campbell had commissioned himself at the last minute because what had been delivered to him just didn't work. And he wasn't having it.
That's to be commended because there's some good music on that bit.
But it doesn't match the rest of the score. And that's why. Different composer. He's not credited on the film. And it doesn't appear on the soundtrack album. That's
some good knowledge. I like that. Well done.
I thought you'd like that.
Yeah.
Yes. There's also something interesting about the tank, isn't
there? Yeah, go on then. You and I know this, but do the keen listeners?
The tank sequence was shot at the Leavesden studio. It was only a studio because the Bond team turned it into one, disused airfield. But at Leavesden, the fake St. Petersburg. Although some of it was actually shot in St. Petersburg with a tank.
Impressive, nonetheless.
Which I didn't know. Again, it's in the DVD commentary, but certainly everything they did with Brosnan was done at Leavesden. And shooting also at Leavesden at that time was Red Dwarf. And Red Dwarf had got themselves a bit stuck in this particular episode in that they didn't have a sort of... They needed something in a scene to sort of transition from one thing to the next. There was all this Bond stuff going on sort of in another part of the site. One lunchtime, they nipped over and borrowed the tank. So the tank that is in, I forget which episode, but the tank that's driven by Robert Llewellyn as Crichton in Red Dwarf is the Goldeneye tank.
It's a nice fact, isn't it?
So when Brosnan was off having his sandwiches, Robert Llewellyn was driving it.
Yes, it's a good... I like that story enormously.
Brilliant, isn't it?
We've also got a nice vehicle nod in there. You'll see on the streets of St. Petersburg, there's the Renault Fuego parked up, silver one.
Oh, you mentioned that, yes.
Yeah, being the same prop car that appears in the multi-story in Tomorrow Never Dies.
Later in Tomorrow Never Dies, yeah.
Yes, exactly the same car.
Yes.
So they got all sorts of treats kicking about. Yes, so we have that. We have a lovely, lovely chase through St. Petersburg. Use the bumper, that's what it's for.
That's what it's for, yes.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's slowly getting sozzled.
Absolutely twatted en route.
Yes.
Yeah, he's putting away what we can only assume is a nice little snifter of vodka in there.
Yes. Oh, it's bound to be, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And their destination is the Soviet missile train, I believe is what they're called, isn't it? That's what Yanis or Trevelyan, as we know it is now.
That's right. That's actually quite a clever, because it was an old British Rail train that they clad in all this kind of sinister looking stuff. It's actually only 3 carriages, but the way they shoot it makes it look like it's huge. But it's not. It was just 3 old carriages and a diesel, hopper, just old British Rail stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they did dress it up. It did look distinctly Soviet.
Yes, it did. It looked the part. But as I say, they only had the engine and 2 carriages, but the way they shot it and the way they cut it, it makes it look like it's enormous.
Yeah. Yeah, Q Bond catching a glimpse of them getting on the train, thinking, "Oh, I've got just the thing for this."
Yeah, I'll sort this out. I'm going down here.
Yeah, I'm going to nip ahead and.
How do you nip ahead in a tank?
Yeah, I mean, you're overthinking it again.
You're not in the DB5.
No, it's just it probably takes a while to get the train going. That's what I'm gonna say.
A very long time.
Yeah. So he nips ahead in the tank, parks it on the track. They spot him on the camera.
He's going to derail us.
And that's it. And she gets all sexed up again about that.
Yeah.
She cannot wait for an impact. So,
dear.
Good heavens.
Yeah, it's all going on in there, isn't it?
So that kicks off. Bond gets on the train. They're all in a bit of a state on the floor. Why won't you just be a good boy and die?
All of that.
You first, you second.
Yes.
Hold them off. Bring her in.
Yeah, he gets the name right.
Yes. Well, he didn't try and get the first bit. That he did. What?
Yeah, bring her in. It wouldn't work, would it?
No. Lovely girl. Tastes like strawberries.
Oh, that's
no Russian has ever tasted like strawberries.
No,
I'm just putting that out there now.
There goes our Russian audience.
Yeah. What Russian audience?
You said we had one.
We might have actually. I'm terribly sorry, chaps. So killer, she means nothing to me. That'll come back to haunt him.
Yeah.
So Trevelyan gives the nod to Ormov. Bond does a little spin round, shoots Ormov. But
who's looking decidedly dishevelled by this point.
Well, he's half cut, isn't he?
He's half cut, the tie's gone, his shirt's sticking out all over the place. That uniform's decidedly grubby.
He's been in a train crash. He's not in a good state.
No,
but all the while, Onatop and Trevelyan have escaped. There's a nice little helicopter on board. That's handy. If only you just use that as transport normally.
Yeah, instead of messing around with the train. Yeah.
So he's given him 6 minutes. The same 6 minutes you gave me.
Oh dear, yeah. We can hardly blame him, can he? He was scamming them.
Yeah. So that's happened. Then we have to become hackers to guess Boris' password for the spike.
Oh dear, Boris is online backing up his files. Was that even possible in 1995?
Of course it was, if you've got weeks to spare.
Yes.
How long is it
How
going
much
to take?
data is he backing up over a 14.4 modem?
So yeah, cue her sending a spike, and
whatever that is.
Nobody knows.
No.
Yeah, so the hunted becomes the hunter. Yeah, all of that.
It jams their modem so they can't hang up. No,
better luck next time, slugheads. Whatever a slughead is.
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah, no, he is. Yeah. As a couple of techie people here, I would like to confirm he is talking utter bobbins.
Utter nonsense.
Yes.
So it's Boris' password. He plays games. It's what I sit on, but don't take it with me. Chair.
Yeah, you stupid woman.
What I sit on, but don't take it with me. And she's guessing arse, buns, bottom.
Well, you do take that with you.
All of those come with you, you silly, silly lady.
Quite scary if you left it behind.
Yeah. Detachable arse. Oh my god.
Quote from Coupling there.
Oh no, don't do it.
No.
We'll be here all bloody night. So we do a bit of that. They get out just in time with a cheeky laser watch.
Of course. Yeah.
They figure out that he's in Cuba before it blows up.
That's right. Yeah. It gets as far as Cuba, and then he drags her away, and there might have been another. They don't wait for that.
No, they assume, but I mean, it works as assumptions go because they have a little bit of heated discussion about who's arranging the transport for the trip to Cuba.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And they have a bit of snuggly time. There's
that's
a
it.
beach.
Bit more sealing the deal. She has a go at him on the beach. Then he's like,
right.
no, let's seal the deal on the beach as well. Try not to get sand in there. And then we end up heading over to Cuba, don't we?
Yeah, I quite like that scene on the beach. The whole "it's what keeps me alive."
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that's fine. Then we got Wade again. Yeah, that's fine. On the bloody car, pointless.
Yeah.
Just go bomb around it. Like, yes,
which is a very British phrase. An American would never say that.
No, that's absolute nonsense.
Yes.
So
don't push any of the buttons on that car. What you mean? You might turn the radio on.
Yeah, well, he's just going to complain that it's all in foreign.
That's true. Yeah.
So then we end up
crap cars out the way. Yeah,
crap cars out the way. Get in a plane. Everyone, they've all dressed in their this is our rugged outdoors gear. All smiles in the plane, all cheerful. It's all cheerful until someone gets a missile through the
well, wing. And they were about to give up. It's like, well, maybe Wade's right. Maybe there isn't a dish. Maybe we're just,
Why? Oh, it could be in that dish-shaped lake there, couldn't it?
No. Of course, if he'd watched all the previous Bond films, he'd have known not to trust those crater lakes.
Yeah, not good. Not healthy.
No.
Yeah, plane goes down. They have a little pass out for a bit. Time passes, apparently. Then Sexy Thighs turns up again.
Oh, dear. Yeah, there she is.
Mr. Bond, the pleasure will be all mine. Cheeky lick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that always cut out on television. Yeah.
Yeah, but not in the real one. No, you get right old tongue up the chops.
Yeah.
A bit of a scuffle. Natalia tries to help. She gets battered away, and then Bond realizes, she's got an AK strapped to her. If I attach this little lead there,
she's tied up to that helicopter there. Look,
that's a bit handy. So I'll clip her on, have a good old shoot up there, and off she goes.
Off she goes up in a tree. That's delivers. Not quite sure what killed her there. Whether she was squeezed or strangled or snapped in half or something, but anyway, it did the job.
Yeah, definitely dead. She always did enjoy a good squeeze.
That was the delivered in true Roger Moore style.
Yeah, I always liked the fact that there was a hint of humour in the Brosnan stuff.
Yeah, just enough, wasn't there?
Yeah, they never overdid it. It was just dropped in every now and then and go, yeah, all right, I'll accept that.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll go with that.
That's it. Then they see that someone's pulled the plug out of the dish. That's had a little gurgle all the way down.
It's a real place, isn't it? Although they weren't shooting on the real place.
It is a real place. So slide down the dish, in you pop, because everyone's been shooting at us, and then
that's right, down into the IBM.
Yes, that's correct. Did you know that IBM made computers?
No, I missed it.
They are bloody everywhere. A cheeky mainframe as well, just in case you need that.
There's a AS400 in the corner. I noticed that. Yes, nice. Absolutely, yes. If you want some older models, there's that computer shop earlier in the film, which we actually didn't mention.
No, we didn't, with the IBM compatible with 500 meg hard drive CD-ROM and 44 modems.
That's it, yes. Quite pleased to test it. Yes.
Everything's satisfactory. Everything except the interruption. Yes, all of that. All of that.
Lots of IBM. Yeah.
I mean, it's bulletproof stuff.
It is bulletproof stuff, and the Model M keyboard, the clicky fellows that they're using are everywhere.
Oh my goodness me! Just imagine if you had all of those. You'd be sitting on a gold mine.
And they are worth hundreds
of pounds per keyboard.
If you've got an IBM Model M keyboard, the original IBM PC keyboard.
You are sitting on a gold mine now.
Proper money these days. Yeah.
And
they are lovely keyboards.
Lovely things to type on.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, really good.
Anyway, we digress. They do make a good noise in this. That's probably why they use them.
I'd say so. It's that satisfying click, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. They're proper keyboards. Yeah, it's good kit, but it is everywhere.
So we end up down the mainframe. There's some tanks of red stuff that they think, that's probably explosive. So he pops.
They don't worry about shooting it, do they?
No, that's sprung a leak. So he pops his mines on there, and they ultimately get caught on purpose.
Lovely little thing, which I think credit should go to Brosnan for. When he's hiding behind one of those tanks and bullets are flying past him while he's programming one of the mines, the way he does that little head flick, like he's almost like swatting away a fly as the bullet comes flying past him. It's like, oh dear.
For goodness sake, man, I'm trying to set a mine here.
Yes, that was lovely.
So we have a bit of that. They ultimately end up getting captured, but on purpose, really, in the grand scheme of things.
Not that the very ordinary-looking staff there seem to pay any attention to the fact that there's this red stuff leaking everywhere.
No one is bothered.
No.
So we've then got... it's only Bond gets captured initially. They don't know where Natalia is. Turns out she's been in the mainframe having a fiddle. She changed the access codes. Yep. So
you didn't have much security on that, then, did you?
No. She's popped in there, walked up to one keyboard, and went, "I'm in. Here I am."
Well, that's because she knows all these passwords are crap.
Yeah. Chair, knockers, bangers. What else has he got for us?
It's not going to take her long to get in, is it?
No. That's it. If your longest password is about 8 characters and is based on an actual word, we'll be in there in seconds.
Yeah, it's not going to take long. No, he's not very good.
No, I spotted that too. So we have a bit of that. Drops that Trevelyan picks up Bond's pen and comments. It comments how he's Q these days. Then checks the watch and actually, I believe, disarms the mines, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, because he still press here, do I?
Yeah.
And turns them all off.
Yep, so that's good.
Yeah.
But fortunately, they're still where they need to be, and that'll come back to haunt someone. So we have a bit of that. So Boris is getting all fidgety, grabs the pen after there's a scuffle.
Yeah, he's clicking away on it, and you're trying to keep up with it. And
I've kept up with it on several occasions, and the numbers do work.
Oh, very good. Well done. Excellent.
Actually, in the same way as when Bond, in the pre-credit sequence, sets the timers to 3 minutes. You can time 3 minutes from then until the explosion. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Someone thought about that.
Good. Oh, I like that. Yeah, excellent.
And then give me the codes, Natalia. Give them to me. Bang. Escape in progress.
Yeah.
All is well.
Yep.
So off we go. There's a guard on Boris to make sure he doesn't knob off while he's trying to break her codes.
Yeah.
Bond's off up to the old antenna to deal with that sharpish just in case.
Yeah, he's back up the top again somehow. Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, there's an elevator, isn't there? Yeah.
Oh, there is. Yep. Then we've got. How does Natalia end up back on?
She goes up in the lift with him.
Yeah, she does, and she plays dead. But how does she end up over in the greenery hijacking helicopters?
No idea.
I can't remember. But she does, so let's not worry about that.
She does. Let's not worry about that, because he gives her a gun and says, "Do you know how to use one of these?" And she does all the clicking and clacking, and she clearly does.
Yeah, and she's like, Bond, good, stay outside.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
So off she goes. She finds a helicopter. Let's not worry about that. Trevelyan catches up with Bond in the old antenna. Bond's put a big old metal pole in the chain that repositions it. So that's that.
It's an old school solution to that problem. Yeah.
You can't program your way out of that bastard.
No.
No. So that's it.
No, there's nothing you're doing to sort that from a bit of code.
No. Antenna is buggered, so that ticks off that particular box. So no one's setting off any more Goldeneyes.
No.
There is a scuffle, and then they ultimately end up at the pointy bit of your antenna.
I can't help thinking they could have done that in the first place and not bothered going down into the thing at all.
Probably, but it made as fight scenes go, I did quite enjoy it.
I'm just saying. Oh, it's a fantastic fight scene. Yeah,
I
it is.
enjoy it. That physicality when the bit before they go down the ladder is really good. That's quite
because they're equally skilled.
It's a
So
believable scuffle.
it is. They're about the same age, same fitness level. They've had all the same training. They're really going at it. It's not as good as, but it's reminiscent of the fight between Bond and Grant in From Russia with Love.
Yeah,
That either one of them could win.
Yeah, it is a good one. I really enjoyed that. So you end up down at the pointy bit, scuffle, scuffle, scuffle. Bond's on a winner, grabs his foot.
He's upside down.
And we end up with the line that we opened with pretty much. So, that's it. He lobs him on the floor.
For England, James.
Oh, for me. All done.
Yeah.
Natalia arrives with a magic helicopter.
That's right. Yeah, gun to the back of the pilot's head. Yeah.
Off to the field. Bond's got mission success, and he is ready to have more mission success.
Do what he does after a mission. Yeah.
Yeah. Wade's there with all his Marines who are ready just to have. I mean, it's probably one of the worst dogging scenes known to man.
It's not a good spot they've picked there, is it?
No,
and where on earth did those helicopters come from?
Bloody quiet, weren't they?
Very. They must have been the new electric ones.
Yeah. So that's that.
Hiding behind a tree somewhere.
All a bit of that. Roll your credits. Bosh. Bond's back.
Oh, and the awful music.
Awful, dreadful. Awful.
Sung by Eric Serra himself.
Awful.
The music, with the exception of the Tina Turner track, the music in this film, I think, really lets it down.
It does.
It's just a bit crap.
It is. It's not its strongest point. I will agree.
No, it's not. We
on
really need it. Where was David Arnold when we needed him?
We had to wait till the next one.
Well, he was off doing his Shaken and Stirred album.
He was. Yeah. He was. Well, he was writing his CV basically, wasn't he?
Yes, he was making sure he got the next one. Yes.
So that's that. So we've ended up at the end there, and it is one of the strongest starts to a Bond tenure there has been.
Yeah, it is. Although, I mean, Moore and Dalton both had strong starts too.
They did, but I would argue not as strong as that.
I don't know,
because
this is pretty good.
It is. I don't get me wrong. I enjoy it, but what this film did for the Bond franchise was just revolutionized it, I think.
Well, and it needed it, didn't it? It needed it. It was a fresh start. It was a reimagining. The world had changed. There'd been a big gap since the last one. They changed the production team. It wasn't John Glenn directing. It was different writers. It really was the fresh start, wasn't it? And it was the jumping off point for the films that followed.
Yes, you are indeed correct. And one nod to the old team was that Derek Meddix did his final work on this and died in '95, and the film was dedicated to him.
He did. The model effects supervisor, who'd worked many, many films. Yes, indeed. That's always a nice touch. Yeah,
I like that they did that. So and we arrived at potentially, like I said, you must watch it immediately. That's our advice on this one.
Yeah, it is superb. It is superb, with the exception of the music. It's
but it doesn't get in the way too much, which is the main thing.
The worst, the only place I think it does is the Aston versus Ferrari sequence. The music over that is truly awful.
It's all a bit weird and electronic, because beeps and squeaks, that, isn't it?
It's really awful.
Weird.
Eric Serra was a mistake.
However, I mean, he was. I agree entirely.
And I think Martin Campbell definitely agreed with that. He's not complimentary of him at all in the DVD commentary.
No, fortunately, though, that scene, while the music is crap, the choreographing of the car chase, race rather than chase, is excellent. You can almost allow the music to fade into the background if you pardon.
Yeah, it is good, and there's good engine noise, and that was real DB5. Yeah, overall, Goldeneye is a triumph.
It is.
It's one of the strongest films in the series.
Okay, right. Before I press the stop button and we wrap up what is quite a glorious episode, even if I'm blowing our own trumpet. Right. You and I are from very, very techie backgrounds.
We are.
And
it's how we earn a living. Yes.
You may have noticed the big hoo-ha in the world of tech news and even mainstream news about Chat GPT, the new AI software.
That is popping up all over the place, yes.
Yes. So I thought, to be on trend, I asked GPT.
GPT, yes.
Good heavens.
You've chosen the wrong app.
I've got a dodgy one. I asked it about Goldeneye.
Oh, okay.
So I am now going to read out the response that I got from AI, and I want you to A, tell me whether you agree with it, and B, fact check it as a little closing piece.
Okay.
So, right, here we go. Goldeneye is a James Bond film released in 1995. It was the 17th film in the James Bond series and marked the return of the franchise after a 6-year hiatus.
So far, so good.
The film starred Pierce Brosnan as James Bond and also featured a talented cast of actors, including Sean Bean and Famke Janssen.
Mm-hmm.
The film was directed by Martin Campbell and was critically and commercially successful. It was praised for its action sequences. I cannot speak tonight.
You can't.
It was praised for its action sequences, humor, and the performance of Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. The film marked a departure from the more fantastical elements of the previous James Bond film and a return to a more grounded, realistic style. Goldeneye remains a popular film and is considered a classic of the James Bond franchise. It is widely regarded as one of the best Bond films and is remembered for its iconic scenes, memorable characters, and exciting action sequences.
Okay. Yes, I generally agree with that. I'm not sure about the comment, a grittier style, or returning to a grittier style, as opposed to the more fantastical elements of the previous films. I mean, the previous films were the Dalton films. They weren't
really not fantastical at all.
In fact, if anything, License to Kill was grittier than Goldeneye.
Yeah, I mean, it says grounded style, which is vague, but the fantastical elements of previous James Bond. Mind you,
of previous, not the previous.
No, it's
okay. Yeah, I mean, there have been fantastical elements in the series. Yes, of course.
What? bloody Bond in space.
You will, yes. That particularly. Yes.
However, I think the machines are coming.
It was very good, that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was factually accurate. All the dates and numbers and everything were correct. Yes, that was very good.
I thought that's a nice little thing to be really on trend there.
Yeah, that's very good and slightly worrying.
Yeah, it is a bit worrying. But at least it's not the Google one that they're working on, or whatever it's called, the Bard or whatever the bloody hell.
Jesus.
They're working on one. They showcased it, and the thing that they showcased it with, its response was wrong. You know, oh, well done.
Oh, well done, idiots. Yeah. Yeah, no, that response was very good.
Yeah.
I agree with everything there. Yeah.
I've been trying to beat it all week, and I've only beaten it once.
Okay.
And that was with a very obscure Formula One team from 1997.
Okay, yeah, well, that's a youth.
But I went for obscure, and it got it. I mean, it didn't even get it a little bit wrong. It got it wildly wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. So it's not infallible.
No.
So
no, we're not quite there yet. I mean, be worried, but don't be scared.
Just keep an eye on it.
Just keep an eye on that. But yeah, there we go. That is our Stuff and Waffle review of Goldeneye. Please go and watch it now. It's very much up there in our top films. I don't think there's any arguing from either of us on those.
No, not at all. Not at all. It is one of the best entries in the series. I've just got one more thing to say on the subject, really.
Gonna.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.